He hates everything that brings me joy. I, 29 female, have been with the same guy, 28 male, for 7 years. Over the years there have been so many things that I get excited over and he makes me feel dumb for it, or there will be something I like and he'll make fun of me for liking it and call me childish or whatever depending on what said item is. For example, I'm a huge superhero fan and having action figures makes me childish. My plants take up too much room. Most of them are in a room we don't use. I collect cool rocks and it's pointless. Crocheting makes me an old lady. Etc. etc. I've tried saying things and it just doesn't matter. How do I deal with this? Too long did not read. Fiancé hates everything that makes me happy and IDK what to do anymore. Edit to add. We already have kids together and I'm a Psalm. Why would you want to spend the rest of your life for someone who makes you feel bad for enjoying things? My partner doesn't do any of my hobbies, he could personally care less about the yarn I buy to knit with. Do you know what he does? He asks me what I like about the ones I'm excited about and buys more for me when he travels. You deserve someone who feels joy when you feel joy. Not someone who tries to make you feel poorly about it. Why don't you deserve a partner who cherishes every part of you? Why don't you deserve a partner who's thrilled to hear about your hobbies because you enjoy them? Why don't you deserve someone who makes you feel loved? Imagine that the two of you have kids and your child shows him a picture that they drew or a pretty rock that they found and he calls it dumb and crushes them. He doesn't have to like that same hobbies that you do, but there's no reason to be cruel. Why stay with someone that acts that way? This hurts my heart to read. I know it's hard, but try to think about the bigger picture. Him putting you down like this constantly is going to take a toll on your self-esteem, if it hasn't already. Leave him. There are so many men out there that enjoy the same things you do. Feel free to PM if you ever want to. I'm around the same age and am going through something very similar. This may not be what you want to hear, but this dude isn't in love with you and may, for whatever reason, even resent you, which is why he's constantly belittling the things you love. Sounds like the relationship has run its course and both of you have been together for so long and since you were young that it's hard to leave. You will be happier without him, trust me. You break up with him. Not because you have different interests, but because he is mean. I have a ton of different interests from my partner and vice versa, and we're happy each doing our own things a lot. But neither of us is mean about it. You don't fix somebody being mean. He's a bad person, so you leave him. In a healthy relationship, there is mutual respect, and you'd both be happy for each other having your own things that you enjoy. I get excited over new pens. My husband bringing me to the stationery store is one of my favorite activities and he laughs at how excited I get, but in a nice way. He thinks it's cute. Never be with someone who tries to ruin your joy. Leave. Find someone who finds your passions adorable. You are going to marry this guy. Why do you not know what to do anymore? Do you want to have a happy and healthy life? Can you have that with this person? I know the past 7 years you have been with him, but can you do another 7? Also look up sunken cost fallacy if you're interested in why you are still staying in a situation that is seemingly no longer serving you in any possible way. Contempt is cancerous. I'm going to ask you a question that will sound unbelievably simple, and probably somewhat asinine, but I want you to think very carefully before you answer it. Why is he your fiancé? Why do you want to marry him? What real value is this person adding to your life? As in, once we strip away all the flowery stuff, what reason do you have for wanting to spend the rest of your life with someone who makes you feel foolish for liking things? Because I'll just let you know now that what you just described is the exact situation people talk about when they say they don't want to settle. You ditch him. He sounds cruel and abusive. Better question is, why would you even stay? A relationship with a partner who exhibits contempt for the other partner will always fail. My last boyfriend was like this and it only got worse. It started with little jabs at my hobbies and then became attacks on my character for things like the podcasts or TV shows I watch. It really was a form of narcissistic abuse, trying to belittle me to make him feel better about himself. This may not be the case with you, boyfriend, but it could be, and it is a terrible way to live. I didn't have the courage to end things, but he did, and I'm so grateful because now I am with someone who loves me and supports all of my hobbies. He also doesn't give a damn what podcasts or TV shows I watch on my own. You deserve someone who loves you for who you are. Why are you with someone who belittles you and wants you to stop enjoying the things you love? The answer isn't going to be what you want. You don't deal with it, because the only thing to do is suppress yourself, which is awful. He isn't going to change and you shouldn't tolerate it. You should be with someone who respects you. You don't need a partner who necessarily shares your interests, but you shouldn't be with one who doesn't respect you. Deal with it by dumping him and finishing someone who builds you up instead. And don't even with the, "Oh, but he's so nice in other ways, I truly love him and he loves me" routine. Nah, if he truly loved and cared about you, he wouldn't demean you over basic joys. And you're still with him because? I swear I have read this exact letter before. Why are you still with this person? Your partner shouldn't belittle you or make you feel bad, dumb. Do not marry him. Why on earth are you going to marry this joy vampire? Do you honestly want to spend the rest of your life with someone who treats you like this? What is it with the posts on this sub being almost exclusively from women who seem to have no awareness of their worth? Can you please read back what you wrote? You have spent 7 years with a man who makes fun of you for liking the things that you like. You are planning to marry this miserable man. Why are you posting on this sub about how to deal with this? You have had 7 years to do something about it. Either stop caring about this opinion and put up with it, or, my advice, break up with this man and find a partner who supports your interests. I am genuinely horrified by many of the posts on this sub. If women can't behave like they have intrinsic worth, then how on earth can they expect anyone else to treat them like that is the case? Edit. Spelling. Throw him in the fucking garbage where he belongs. Do you believe that love is enough to fix a relationship? If you just love him enough, you can overcome the fact that he's a mean person who doesn't like you. Just what you can do for him. Unfortunately, this is not how it works. It's never worked. This is like having a bully in elementary school and inviting him over for a sleepover so they can beat you up some more after normal school hours. It's okay to leave a relationship, no matter how much time and effort you've put in it, no matter how intertwined your lives are together, if it's the healthy choice. Y'all gotta stop dating people who hate you, man. I knew a man who would buy emu eggs for his wife so she could decorate them. It was weird even to him, but he liked that it made her happy. That's what a relationship is. Home should be a place where you're safe to be you. It doesn't sound like you've found home, and I'm sorry you're not going to find it with him. Take it from a middle-aged wife, 47. Your happiness is so important. Your personality and hobbies should be valued. I used to live with a grumpy husband who didn't like my hobbies. I was miserable. We worked it out and now he loves that my hobbies make a mess, he says. He might be a bit annoyed, but he puts on a happy face. You have to be you. Otherwise it will wear you down. Your partner is an ass. Imagine thinking that you get to decide what is worthwhile as a hobby for someone else. SMH. Ignore all of his comments. Lots of young people crochet. Collecting rocks isn't pointless. He's just an unhappy little turd. Do you really want to be with someone that makes you feel dumb or old or whatever other asinine thing he likes to call you? That's so sad, sad face. He's definitely not right for you. I know you probably think, well, we've been together so long and have some good memories, so you want to make it work, but I promise there's someone better for you. My ex used to be so excited for me whenever I picked up a new hobby. And when I did do crocheting, he thought I was so cute for doing that and did compare me to an old lady, but in a loving way, never to be mean. I don't think you should deal with this. I think you should run. You're deserving of so much more. It's not worth it to try to change him. I was with a guy like this for almost 5 years. It doesn't matter how many times you'll try to explain to them how they hurt you, they won't change. Okay, I literally have all the same interests as you. My yarn, plants, superhero stuff, books, rocks, and seashells take up like 30% of our apartment, and my husband doesn't complain unless he's literally tripping over it. Don't spend the rest of your life with someone who is so condescending to you. There are other men in the world. Yeah, this guy sucks. I was in a long-term relationship with a partner who took zero interest in my hobbies, climbing, skiing. I really like nerdy stuff like data viz, stats, math, geeking out over new words I've learned, growing tomatoes. My partner at the time could not care less about what I was doing, so long as I invested in what she liked doing. It was so draining, demoralizing, and ultimately made me question whether there was something wrong with me. Needless to say, that relationship did not work out. It took me until long after ending that relationship, huge sigh of relief, to know that that behavior was not normal. Find yourself someone who geeks out with you, invests in you and your hobbies, and wants you to be happy. Your life will be so much better for it. I get happy seeing a stranger get excited for something. This is the bare minimum you should ask of your significant other. Raise you standards, bud. Maybe don't marry the guy that hates everything you like. This is sad to read. You have been together with him for 7 years, and for 7 years he has looked down on you with disdain. Please read the title of your post back to yourself. What would you say to a friend of yours if they told you the same thing about their partner? This hurts my heart. Your partner is meant to find joy in your joy. Playful teasing about a hobby might be one thing, but putting you down and stealing your joy is another. I love pretty things. Tulle skirts, dresses in which I can twirl, shoes that sparkle. I'm too old for that kind of thing, but it makes me happy. My husband almost exclusively wears navy or gray. He buys his clothes second-hand and wears them forever. He absolutely delights in seeing me buying or wearing something pretty. These things mean nothing to him except that they make me smile. And that's enough for him. That's how it's meant to be. If rocks or crochet needles spark joy in you, then that is something to celebrate. You ditch this dude. He clearly doesn't like who you are. Also, he sounds boring. I know a lot of adults who love superheroes and collect figures or bobbleheads. 2 of them are married and just bought a house, so they're the epitome of adult. I also know a lot of adults who have a truly impressive number of plants. Crafters of all sorts. 2 rock collectors. Most of them are happily in relationships. You deserve someone who likes you for who you are, not for the person they make you pretend to be. Find someone who thinks you're cool and encourages you to be your best, truest self. My boyfriend and I totally opposite, and he hypes me up and would love to see me excited over my silly things. He once made a negative joke about something and it upset me. He instantly apologized and was supportive. You have endured 7 years of this poop. Like, honestly, what do you even get from this relationship? You need to think really hard if this is what you want for another 7 years or more. Imagine having kids with him and he ridicules them too. Why be with this person who makes you feel like this? I know this has been mentioned before, but just to drive the point home. Marriage will only make this behavior worse. Marriage will not solve any existing problems, only magnify them. If you can live with this kind of behavior or worse for the rest of your life, then go for it. If not, time to reevaluate. Don't marry this guy. This relationship sounds toxic and like you're only staying because he talks down to you so much that you don't feel like you could do better. You deserve better than this guy. You don't have to like everything I like. I think you need to start considering that he hates them because they bring you joy, and reflect on whether you want to be with someone who gets so offended when you're happy. What do? You realize there is no such thing as pot committed, and you are still young enough to find someone who respects and loves you, and you can still have the life you want. You are in the rut where you are in the relationship because that's what you identify with, and because it started good and just developed into this mess, but was so slow and gradual you didn't even notice how poorly you are being treated, and you don't see how it would actually be better to start over. If you leave, it will be a rough few months, then you will wonder why you wasted so many years on this dolt. He doesn't like you anymore, not one bit. He is annoyed by everything you do, but doesn't have the guts to end the relationship like a grown-up. Please muster up the courage and get rid of this rotten relationship. You are still very young, you can start over anytime. Even being alone is much better than living with someone who hates everything you enjoy. I would break up with him, as if he can't respect you for what you enjoy and can't support you, then why be with him? End it now before it gets worse, as you should be with someone who can at least be happy for what you like and respect it even if they don't understand why you like it. Why would you want to be with someone who puts you down all the time? Incompatible hobbies, interests isn't a deal breaker, but disrespect towards you for your differences ought to be. You have communicated your needs and how he needs to change his behavior, and he has chosen to disregard it, so you can either accept his disrespect or you can end things and be free to feel joy. There's this phenomena where, due to the amount of time we've invested in making a mistake, we refuse to admit that it is a mistake. This is called an escalation of commitment, and it's a form of bias. Please don't make the mistake of thinking he'll respect you if you only try harder, or the time that you've invested in the relationship would be a waste if you don't get married. No mistake is a waste if you learn from it. Get out and feel the joy you've been denied. I swear this is like reading a post from myself. I was in a relationship like this for 8 years. I ended it about a week ago now. And honestly, I feel like I can breathe again. Being around that constant negativity really is soul draining. Having someone shit on everything you love, enjoy is exhausting and just plain sad. Now that I'm not around him anymore, I feel lighter and happier. I'm not telling you to break up with him, but I'm just speaking from my experience. Try talking to him and telling him how much it hurts you that he hates everything that brings you joy. And if he doesn't try to change, maybe consider doing what's best for you, even if that means leaving. I wish you all the best. Did you consider trying to share your life with someone who actually likes you instead? He may be right. You were with him. Okay, sorry, bad joke. But seriously, why are you putting up with that? Why does he have to insult you or make you feel dumb? Sounds like HES the issue and his brain is fully developed. He isn't going to change. You gotta figure out if you want to deal with that forever.